Welcome back to the Vike Nite podcast. I'm Alana Larson-Zachariason here with Philip Larson and Lucas Michaels. Quick rundown of what we cover on this show: weekly rundowns and recaps, opinionated segments, player and roster news, and our own unique awards. Let's get right to it and send it to Lucas for a game recap from last Saturday.
Thank you, Alana. It was the first game of the 2025 season at home in Minneapolis at US Bank Stadium against the Houston Texans. The first half was highlighted by a gutsy 13-play, 58-yard drive led by quarterback J.J. McCarthy. While the drive only ended in 3 points via Will Reichard field goal, we saw poise in and out of the huddle from our future quarterback one, as well as a few crucial conversions on 3rd and 4th down. Overall, a very promising start. The first team defense didn't fare as well, albeit they were missing most of their big-name veteran starters. They were gashed in the running game on the first drive that resulted in a 14-yard touchdown to wide receiver Braxton Berrios from Texans quarterback Davis Mills. This would be the last time that the Texans saw any sign of light on offense, being smothered to just 3 points the rest of the game. The Vikings defense swarmed Texans quarterbacks all afternoon and caused several tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and 3 interceptions. A late fourth quarter touchdown from Vikings QB Max Brosmer sealed the game for the Vikes, giving them a 20-10 advantage with very little time remaining. Overall, a fantastic start for the entire roster. So let's toss it to Alana for some roster news and injury updates.
First off, wide receiver Rondale Moore suffered a tragic season-ending knee injury, just heartbreaking after being... Let me start that over. Should I start over at in roster news?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about that roster and some injuries. We've got 2 players who sustained some really unfortunate and significant injuries during that preseason game versus the Texans. Wide receiver Rondale Moore suffered a tragic season-ending knee injury after being tackled on a punt return that led to him being carted off the field. Coach O'Connell saying that it's heartbreaking. I think anybody in the ballpark today could feel that emotion. It's one of the most painful things for me as a head coach. I make a life out of trying to leave others better than I found them. And in that particular situation, there's really nothing you can do. Heartbreaking, like he said. Second, we have center Zeke Correll leaving the field in the 4th quarter after suffering a fractured right ankle. What do you guys think about that?
Obviously sad for Zeke. I didn't know a lot about Zeke and didn't know a lot about what he was going to offer to the team, but I was especially excited for Rondale Moore. I saw him as a potential gadget-type player for the Vikings where they could plug him in the backfield catching balls. He is just an explosive player in the open field, somebody that you just want the ball in their hands. And I was really looking forward to seeing what kind of dynamic stuff that he could bring to our offense. And I just think that they're going to have to reshape their plan on offense without Rondale Moore.
Right. It does get a little dicey when you think about our wide receiver depth starting the season. You know, you have Addison with that 3-game suspension and Jefferson with a hamstring that he's nursing. You know, they did say it was a relatively light type deal.
A low-grade strain,
it's a
which would
low-grade
make
strain.
you think that he's coming back for week 1, but I think we should look for them to be making more roster moves, perhaps bringing in a veteran wide receiver.
Right.
Come on home, Adam Thielen.
That's been the name that's been being
But
tossed
that's
around.
Purely spectacle at this point.
Speculative, yeah. And it's, the Panthers like Thielen. He's been a great red zone target for them. They do have McMillan and whatnot. And, I'd love to see him, be back here. But I don't think we should be jumping the gun too soon on this wide receiver thing. We haven't seen much from Ty Felton, who I think would be next in line for our kick return job. But also, we selected him in the 3rd round for a reason. He definitely had some very explosive plays in his time in college, and we're all rooting for him. But yeah, it's unfortunate with Rondale. I wish him the best. He is going through an MRI today to see what exactly we're looking at here.
May not be as bad as we think it is. If they could get Rondale Moore back, it'd be a huge addition to the team. So
Ideally.
let's keep an eye on that, and let's hope for maybe some moving pieces at the wide receiver position, really solidify a group that I think is going to be absolutely amazing in 2025.
Absolutely. And Alana, I think we're going to get into awards here.
Okay, core part of our show here. We'll be giving out awards to players each week, uniquely named by Phil and Lucas. We've got for you the Pride of Valhalla Award, the DogGonnit Award, and super interesting and intriguing, Phil and Luke's Mystery Awards. Ooh. So let's begin with the Pride Award. This one does not necessarily mean MVP of the game, best guy out there, but it's someone who really stood out to us. Someone who embodies what it means to be a Viking. They're relentless. They're tough. They're tenacious. Phil, who do you have for your Pride Awards this week?
Alrighty, so I'm going to start it off with one guy, Khalif Halassi. You might not have heard of him, but you will after this game especially. So the first time Luke's and I, we were watching back this preseason game with Khalif, and I believe it was the first quarter. He had a pretty bad missed TFL, and we kind of put him on our shit list. We were like, "Oh, what is this guy doing running out with the twos?" It was a little bit confusing for us. Haven't really heard a lot from him. I guess I just haven't been dialed in on that.
It was the Texans' first offensive drive. It was 3rd and 8, and Khalif blasts into the backfield on a screen play, and it looks like he's going to be able to make a tackle for loss. Unfortunately, he misses the tackle, and
it's a first down.
The receiver is able to go easily get a first down. And so I'm not thinking highly of this number 25 that I've never heard of.
Right, but then he comes right on back, still out there in the second half, and then we see 2 fourth quarter interceptions by this guy.
Completely instinctual. He looked great on those interceptions. He just looked like a guy who knows how to find the ball and get the ball.
Right, and another reason I'm putting him as my Pride of Valhalla right here is like he just switched from corner to safety this week, or this last week, I should say. So it's another Brian Flores special for you, switching up these player positions and whatnot. But showed great instincts in the fourth quarter, bouncing back after that. And it's like, you have one play. It's all about having that goldfish mentality and
you
getting
just
right out
love
there.
to see a player just really leave it all on the line in these preseason games. Sometimes this is their only time to make a mark. And shout out Khalif Halassi for making his name a household name, at least this week in Vikings fandom.
At least this week. We'll see in the next 2 weeks. So a lot to look forward to with Khalif there. In terms of the offensive side of the ball, we got, which may not come as a surprise to people who have watched this game, Xavier Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Scott, power running, man. He's blowing through guys. He went for 40 yards on 7 carries, 5.7 average. It's he's in a tight race for that RB3 spot. We've had Ty Chandler here for going on, what are we saying, 3 years now, and they've been giving Ty every chance he can get. And I do like Ty. I mean, his full name is Ty Kevius. I think that's freaking raw. Like, he's a guy for sure, but it's like it hasn't really been showing up, and especially when he was, a backup. He was backing up Cook. 22? Or that was Madison, but like he was. Still,
Chandler's had some run getting in when people get hurt over the last couple of years. Obviously, that famous game against the Bengals where he goes for almost 150 yards rushing.
Yeah.
He's been a guy, and he may be a guy for somebody else. I'm not sure if he'll be a guy for the Vikings. What I like about Xavier Scott is he feels almost like a mixture of Aaron Jones' speed and elusiveness with Jordan Mason's power.
Right.
Because he is a bigger back. He is 6'2". I think he's 230, 240. He's a big guy.
Right.
But he has the speed that Aaron Jones has. So I think he's a special type player, and I'm excited to see him get more touches.
Yeah. I want to see him blow through some more guys week 2, week 3, and Xavier Scott. He's getting my offensive pride.
Yeah, making a serious push for that running back 3 roll over veteran Ty Chandler. So,
Lucas, who do you got?
Go ahead for my offensive award. My offensive pride of Valhalla goes to Jordan Addison. And really, my pride in Jordan Addison started well before the game even began because we had no off-season drama. I'm talking 0 arrests, 0 DUIs, 0 stories in the news. And that's all I wanted to see from Jordan Addison as he's working through this legal case for his last DUI. I just wanted to see him focused on football. And what I saw was a man who certainly was. And so what I saw out in the field was really, really confident, high point catches in traffic. He was going up and getting the ball. Didn't matter if there was guys draped on him. He was going to get that ball. He does seem like an absolute alpha out there when he is in his zone. It seems like J.J. McCarthy and him have built a serious connection. It seems like he's a safety blanket for J.J. McCarthy. I really feel like looking around the league, he would be wide receiver 1 on most offenses that are not the Minnesota Vikings.
Totally agree.
So here's this scenario that I see for him. I see a win-win if he has a great season for the Vikings, both for the team and for the player. So one, if he does well, he's going to get paid and stay in Minnesota. And I don't say this lightly. I think they could be the greatest wide receiver duo in Minnesota Vikings history. I'm talking Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson over Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen. I feel like those 2 guys locked in for the next 5 to 8 years could be absolutely incredible.
That's some spicy takes right there, my friend.
Now, what's more likely to me is that the team will trade him if he does really well this year. And I think you're looking at some major draft capital, maybe a first or a second and a third. And then there is a third instance that I see as far less likely, and that's him not doing well this year or getting into more legal trouble. I don't think he's getting into more legal trouble. I don't think he's going to have a bad year. I think he's going to have a great year. But let's say one of those 2 things happen. The Vikings will have to move on from him. They won't get anything in return, and he'll just be another failed prospect. So I believe in Addison. I'm proud of Addison, and I want to see him show up and show out this year. Let's go number 3. My defensive Pride of Valhalla award is going to Gabe Murphy.
Gabriel.
If you remember Gabe from last year, he was a 6'2", 247-pound, undersized, but elite edge rusher for the Minnesota Vikings. They did sign him to a bit higher than minimum deal as a UDFA, so you knew that they liked him last year, but we didn't really get to see him pan out on that potential. But in this preseason game, I saw a lot that we liked. We saw a tenacious pass rush. I mean, he looked like the real deal on that sack. It looked violent. It looked explosive. He hit that quarterback, and it looked like he was on a mission.
Clean, violent.
Not only was he great rushing the passer, but he was also disruptive in the running game as well. It just seemed like he was wreaking havoc everywhere that he went. So, I mean, if you pull up his relative athletic score, you see that the size is definitely a concern. Playing NFL defensive line at 247 pounds, he's going to get pushed around by bigger O-linemen. And that's where I feel like if he is willing to be flexible with his position and play some off-ball linebacker as well, he will absolutely be a Flores type of guy. And what I mean by that is our defensive coordinator, Brian Flores, seems to love versatile players who can play in different positions, do different types of things on different plays, disguise what they're doing. And Gabe Murphy just seems like a perfect fit for this defense. I'm excited to see more from Gabe.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Any guy who can be that type of flexible, versatile type of player, I think, you got a spot in a Flores defense. So
totally.
Shout out Gabe.
Well done, Gabe.
Okay, a lot of pride there. I'm excited about those players, you guys. But let's move on to the DogGonnit Award.
DogGonnit.
Yeah, this award is given to a player that makes Vikings fans just mumble curse under their breath. And by that, we mean Midwest curses like doggone it. Winning this award doesn't mean they're a bad player, but it just wasn't their game, all right? So, Lucas, who made you say doggone it?
This one hurts because I'm such a big fan of this player. But the player that made me say doggone it is TJ Hawkinson. Tough stat line, 0 targets, 0 catches, and it felt like on every single passing play he was blocking and then releasing to the flat as a check down option. It's not really what I want to see from my star tight end in his first appearance. I know it wasn't a very big sample size. I know we're going to see more from TJ, but really I'm expecting big things from a guy that's receiving top 5 money at the tight end position this year. Goals I would love to see TJ hit, milestones, 700 plus yards, and I want to see him get at least 10 touchdowns. I want to see him leading this team in touchdown receptions, but I think he is the biggest and best target down in the red zone, and I would love if he was heavily involved in this offense like he was in 2023. Obviously, we know in 2024 he suffered that horrible injury from Dirty Kirby Joseph, taking out his knee. Can
I just interject here real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
Let me just, so with the Dirty Kirby, and this whole Lions culture that they were building with the, let's hook out of them, bite off their kneecaps, I just, it's gross. It's disgusting. I don't like us making an allegory for, beating teams with, let's bite off the most injured part of a player, even if it's in a playful sense, like we have so many of these knee injuries and whatnot. And yeah, Dirty Curb.
Well, I don't find it funny. I don't find it amusing. And frankly, I won't stand for it. I don't like the Lions culture. I don't like the way that they play football. And I hope we beat them by 50 in both games this year.
Beat the kiddies, man. Beat the kiddies.
So after TJ's knee gets taken out by Kirby Joseph, I just don't feel like he's been the same player coming back. For obvious reasons, I don't see the same confidence over the middle when he catches it. Before the injury, he was catching it over the middle in traffic, bouncing off defenders, getting 10, 15 yards after contact. It felt like almost every single time. And I'm just anxious to see how it looks this year. Is he going to be the same blocker that he used to be before his injury? Is he going to be that same tenacious, just tough nose receiver over the middle for J.J. McCarthy? Or is he going to be more of an average NFL tight end? If that's the case, then we need to seriously look at this contract situation, because for the last 2 years, his salary cap number has been under $2 million, but it's up to $10 million this year with a buyout after 2026. And then after that, it's $15 million for the next year, and then $17 million the year after that. So if he's not producing like a top 5 tight end, unfortunately, TJ Hawkinson is not going to be on the Vikings roster after this year. So I'm a huge TJ fan. I want to see him reclaim the glory that he once had when he got traded here from the Lions. So I believe in him to come back. But for now, I look at that Hawkinson performance preseason week 1, and I just say, doggone it.
Doggone it.
My defensive doggone it goes to Dallas Turner, who I feel like represents the whole class of backup defensive linemen for the Vikings. Obviously, Dallas Turner, first-round pick last year, high expectations, but he didn't get to see the field a lot with elite play from Andrew Van Ginkel and Jonathan Grenard. We saw a little bit from Turner. It looked okay. On the first drive, though, of this preseason game, Turner and the rest of the backup defensive line got gashed. We saw huge holes in the running game and really, really poor tackling. You could see that the scheme was working and that they were in the correct positions, but they just weren't making the play. And that's really tough to see our depth pieces not stepping up. Obviously, it's a whole different look with these guys like Jonathan Allen in the inside, but was not very impressed with our second-tier defensive line, which I feel like should be taking a big step up. I want to see Dallas Turner be a true impact player for this team. I want to see him be versatile for Brian Flores so he can do multiple things. I want to see him sacking the quarterback, playing coverage. I believe in him to be an elite type of defensive player. We're just going to need to see a big step up in year 2.
Absolutely.
So, Phil, who made you say, God darn it?
Oh, you know what? DogGonnit goes to, not a player that I'm necessarily worried about, but a player that I just wanted to see more of. Dwight Nudie McGlothern. Goes by Nudie, which is what I'm going to be referring to him as. Also, shout out to the rapper Young Nudie. Alana and I, we love him.
Is that where Dwight Nudie McGlothern got his nickname
I do not
from,
know, honestly.
Is this a self-proclaimed
because
nickname?
I don't know a lot of people going by Nudie, and there's a young.
It is a unique name.
There's Young Nudie, who is an excellent underrated rapper, and I feel like people need to get on the Nudie train. But
This podcast is not sponsored by Young Nudie.
But it might as well be because he just dropped a new album, Paradise. Check it out; it's really good.
So what'd you see from Nudie?
I didn't see anything from Nudie. That's exactly it. I would like to, if I could throw a bone on Nudie getting a pick in that game, I probably would have gladly shelled that out.
We were hopeful.
Exactly. But, he's already been doing, he had 3 consecutive days in training camp with picks, and I think that those were all off of different quarterbacks, I believe. You had McCarthy, Brosmer, Rippon. He picked them all off. He's just been stacking consecutive good days in camp, and I think he has a really good shot at being in the rotation this season. He was a guy that I wanted to see last season. I would have even, we didn't see much from Gilmore. He was okay last year, but shoot, might as well have put in Nudie in there. But anyways, I just would have liked to see more from Nudie. And, we'll see him week 2 and 3. I believe, if I did have to wager on it, do not be surprised if Nudie gets a pick week 2 or 3. Hopefully not from Josh Dobbs, because I love Dobbs so much on the Pats, so we'll see.
See the Pastronaut next week. Let's hope for an improved performance from Nudie McGlothern. I think he's going to make that splash play that we've been waiting to see. So it's a reluctant DogGonnit.
I just want to see him more on the field. I just want to see him more on the field.
I think we're going to see something from him.
I want to see that guy, and I want to be rocking his jersey.
Who you got for offensive DogGonnit?
Okay, offense DogGonnit. We're going Brett Rippin' Ass, as some people might call him.
He was ass.
1 for 4 passing, 6 yards.
Yikes. Had
a quarterback rating of 39.6. Not too great from a guy that, was moved up in the depth, the symbolic depth, I guess. KOC had Howell running with the 3s, and then, Rippon kind of got elevated after Howell had a rough start to training camp. But I liked what I saw from Sam Howell. What we saw from Brett Rippon was not too great.
He's the only Vikings quarterback I wasn't impressed with.
Yeah, exactly. He was the only one I wasn't impressed with. And, if I had to make a guess for who would get the cut if we're going to keep 3 quarterbacks, as of right now, I'm saying Brett Rippon ass. Get him out of here.
It's tough to say. He's been with the team for a couple years.
He knows the system, but you know what? It's like you have Brosmer. He's a Minnesota guy. He has that chip on his shoulder.
You're going to come to find that we're pretty excited about Max Brosmer.
You will come to find that.
But Alana will get to more of that later. What's next for awards?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't say shout out to Andy from Purple for the win for coining Brett Rippin' Ass.
One of the truly great nicknames of all time. We love you, Andy. Shout out.
Absolutely. Well, up next is our mystery awards. Super excited about these. Phil and Lucas have assigned players to their own unique awards, where based on the name of the award, the other person needs to try and guess who is the winner. Lucas, you're up first.
Phil.
All right.
I'm giving out the Thunder from Down Under Award.
Thunder from Down Under. Oh, man. Okay, I'm thinking lower body. What are we doing? You know what? I'm thinking I liked what I was seeing out of Will the Thrill. Jeez, Louise, it was coming out. I was trying to think of his nickname. Will the Thrill.
Reichert is,
Will the
is
Thrill.
Phil's guess.
That's my guess. He banged every kick through. Didn't make a mistake. In training camp, it's been a little wishy-washy. But, hey, you know what? You and I both are Will the Thrill believers. And he did his job on Saturday. So is that who it is? Will the Thrill? Am I right?
Wow, Will the Thrill is a great guess. And we're really thrilled to see him knock through those field goals. The Thunder from Down Under Award goes to UDFA punter Oscar Chapman.
Oscar.
I don't even think I remember Oscar Chapman punting on Saturday, but apparently he is on our team. And when Kevin O'Connell was talking about special teams, he was complimenting Ryan Wright and Will Reichert, but then he stuttered and seemed to forget the name for Oscar Chapman. And one of the reporters chimed in and reminded him the name, and he goes, "Oh, sorry, I call him by a name I'd rather not say on here." And this has just left me perplexed all week. I'm wondering, what could Kevin O'Connell possibly call this punter Oscar Chapman that he cannot say to the general public? Now,
I'd
Oscar
love to wager
is,
a guess right now, but I
please
think we get
do.
demonetized.
So Oscar is a punter out of Auburn, but originally from Australia. So I have no idea what this nickname could be. Please comment down below what you think Oscar's nickname is. My guess was the Thunder from Down Under, hence the name of my award. Phil, what do you think?
I love it.
Oscar Chapman's nickname from Kevin O'Connell is.
Well, oh shoot. Thinking like I'm Oscar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really
Is that Oscar the Grouch or?
maybe that was my Oscar the Grouch impression. Not too great. You know what? I might have to get back to you on that.
We need to learn more about Oscar.
I really do. Oscar, man. I mean, Ryan Wright, he's been not an elite guy. He's been good, but not elite.
Let's look for Oscar Chapman to make a push for this roster. I like Ryan Wright. I think he's the guy. I think it's very clear. Coach wasn't even sure of this guy's name. I'm not feeling like he has a very solid shot at the roster, but I am dying to know the nickname. So if you know it or if you have any ideas, please comment down below.
Would love to
Phil,
hear
what
it.
do you got for an award?
Okay, Lucas, I have the Mad Scientist Award.
Okay.
For I don't want to give it away here. It might be kind of unconventional. It might not be adhering to the rules necessarily, but
all right.
We're going with Mad Scientist Award.
Well, if it doesn't follow the rules, I don't think it's a
shouldn't have said
player.
that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Brian Flores on this. He's the mad scientist.
Well, DogGonnit Award goes to you because that's who I had. Was B-Flow. B-Flow in year 3 of the system, he dialed up 9 to 10 corner safety blitzes last week. Just kind of going crazy in preseason.
That's absurd.
Yeah, he's not playing games. He's getting the players and he's getting them ready.
From my understanding, it sounds like the Vikings are running the best disguise defense in the league, where they show one thing pre-snap, they transition into something else. Everybody knows their role, and it's leaving offenses around the league completely perplexed.
Right.
In addition to that, we have all of these hybrid, super athletic players that you don't know what their role is on a given play. You don't know if they're rushing. You don't know if they're covering the pass. You have no idea what is coming at you. And really, I think we're going to take a huge step up this year. In year 3, the continuity of this defense is better than it's been since the Zimmer era. And I think we are looking at the top defense in the entire league, led by
the top. You're going just number one overall.
Who looks better than this Brian Flores-led defense?
See, I was going to say top 3, top 5. Top 3 might be pushing it for me, but like I'm with you 100%. You have it has improved year by year, and granted he's been here we had the 23 season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brian Flores.
Mm-hmm.
And then 24. So both seasons we've seen.
And remember where we came from. I mean, we're talking the the Donna Shell defense. We play cover 4 every single play. Please don't throw any long balls on us, but we're gonna let you get every 15-yard intermediate pass that you want. Just death by 1,000 cuts. It was horrible to watch.
Right.
I was at that Giants playoff game. It was miserable, and just so cool to see where our defense has gone under Flores. So
absolutely, the respect we've garnered has been unbelievable.
Very excited to see what the mad scientist offers up this year.
Absolutely. And we'll toss it over to Alana's here.
Well, let me first of all say, you guys, I don't think there's any rules with these awards. Let's just start with that. And second, since you brought up mad scientists, let's move on to some numbers and hypotheses for some seasonal bets this year. Lucas, what do you have for us?
All right. This is redemption season for my guy. I gave him the DogGonnit Award, but I believe in 700.5 yards from TJ Hawkinson. To achieve this, he would need 41.18 yards per game to reach that threshold. But really, I think he's capable of so much more. I think he has the potential for another 1,000-yard season, which he's done before, and to cement himself as a key contributor for this team for years to come. We talked about what the contract situation looked like. I think this is a make or break it year for a very, very talented player in this league. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see TJ show up and show out. He's going to make me some money this year. Take the over for 700.5 yards from TJ Hawkinson. What do you got, Phil?
Love it, absolutely. And you know what? We might as damn well have 3 1,000-yard receivers this year, because I'm going to echo another fellow wideout, Jordan Addison.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Addison in training camp there's a very palpable and real connection with him and McCarthy right off the bat. You got Jefferson nursing that hammy, trying to come back for week 1. Hopefully, prayers up for him that he's healthy. It's just the noise we've been hearing in training camp with McCarthy. A lot of that is coming from how well he is synergizing with Addison.
It's something that you just love to see, especially a guy who's maybe some of the character issues. You don't know how well he's getting along with his teammates, how bought in he is with this team. But it's very clear that he showed up to training camp focused, ready to connect with JJ and really put his stamp on this season. So
absolutely. And I don't think I said my number here, but we're having Jordan Addison over 625.5 yards. You can get that on DraftKings.
Seems pretty low
for the season. Well, it is low. And the thing is that they had him at 725 before they just announced his 3-game suspension stemming from his DUI last year, which in my opinion is really not that big of a deal. He was lit off edibles, I believe.
Fell asleep on an interstate on-ramp to LAX. Believe in a self-driving car.
And self-driving car, will come a little bit slack. People have been really trusting those as of late. And he's a young guy.
Get a ride. Get a driver. Have somebody drive you around. This shouldn't be a thing.
It shouldn't.
You want to get zooted before your flight?
Be my guest, absolutely.
Whatever. It's legal in California and Minnesota.
Right.
It's just a matter of being smart. Never be behind the wheel when you are under the influence of any substance. It's a no-brainer. I mean, you have millions and millions of dollars on the line, because not only the money that he could potentially make for those 3 games, but we're talking a player on the cusp of becoming one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league. And every time that new wide receiver contracts are given out, we're talking major money. And so he knows that this is his time to lock in, focus, and 625 yards. That would be 44.7 yards
On
in the 14 games
Yep.
that he has remaining, not including his 3-game suspension. I think that's very doable.
You agree?
I see Addison as a type of guy to have 200-yard, 3-touchdown games. I saw it in person last year against the Falcons. He was absolutely incredible.
What was his? Do you know off the top of your head what his yardage was that game?
Well, the cool thing about that game is that both him and Jefferson were over 100 yards receiving. Addison had 3 touchdowns. Jefferson had 2.
Yep.
That was the culmination of what that duo can be, and that's why I say that they could be the greatest wide receiver duo in Vikings history. But they have to both be here, and they have to keep up what they've been doing. And I really think that the best is yet to come for those 2 receivers. So
Yeah, just the reason I'm putting this on here at the end of the day, he's coming back week 4. He's going to be in, I don't know, if we're playing in like Ireland or something.
that's
overseas.
right. We have our 2 games overseas back to back.
Right,
is
he's
what
going
he'll be
against
joining us.
A-Rod. We saw the Gink 6 last year against Rodgers, so we get him again, and I think Addison's going to step in and just be an immediate impact. He has that connection with McCarthy, and he has 3 less games to get to that 625.5. But last year, I believed he finished high 800s. He's like 890 around that. His freshman outing, he was 911 yards. So I'm just telling you guys, do not be surprised if you see him eclipsing that season high. It's his 3rd season, but I think he could go over 911. And as I was saying earlier, we could very well have 3,000-yard receiving.
Absolutely. I think he hits the
receivers
ground
out there.
running. As soon as he starts that week 4 game, I don't think we're seeing him, kind of build up his touches like he had to do his rookie year. I mean, his rookie year, his first 6 games, he barely touched the ball, and then Jefferson went down, and then he had to step up, and then we see him in a major way.
Ripping the ball away, that 49ers game.
Yeah,
You already know.
great
He's
memories.
Yep. So, hey, maybe even considering parlaying these plays, man. I mean, geez, I know I got TJ locked into a seasonal of mine.
I feel confident about both.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for this upcoming season for both players.
Absolutely. So, I mean, first 2 picks in the books. Make sure you jump on that sooner rather than later, because I don't know how
You never know when the odds
much
change.
longer. Yeah, it's seasonals.
This
You got
is
to
free
jump on
money,
it.
people. So before they change it, go ahead and take these 2 lines.
Exactly. All right. So, looking ahead, Alanis, what can we expect next week?
Well, quick recap. We love Addison. Don't drive under the influence. Simple as that. Looking ahead, though, next week, we're looking for more clarity when it comes to quarterback depth. And I'm going to give my take here. I'm looking forward to seeing more action from former Golden Gopher Max Brosmer. Sky U-Maw, baby. He started the game versus the Texans super strong with a 3-yard touchdown to Miles Price. And he led the team with a passer rating of 118.2, you guys. I know it's way too early to say QB2 over Sam Howell. We haven't seen enough from him yet either. But he's putting pressure on Rippon, and I think he's raring to go for future games. He's trying to prove himself in next week's preseason game. At least I hope so. When the Vikings welcome the New England Patriots to the gorgeous, the intimidating, the formidable U.S. Bank Stadium. Kickoff is at noon this Saturday. Signing off, I'm Alana.
I'm Lucas.
I'm Philly boy.
Skull!
Skull Vikings, bro.
Skull!
Thanks for tuning in to Vike Nite.